Hello, sixth grade. Today is Wednesday, September 30th, the last day of September. Let's see, today we started off by reading, we reviewed our vocab words, which were persevere. Told the class that I had to persevere today to try to get my assignment. I had to find it. It was hiding somewhere in my Google Drive. But I found it and got it uploaded to your Google Classroom. So I persevered. Even though something was hard, I kept on trying until I accomplished it. And I asked if anybody did anything intrepid last night. And I had one student say he intrepidly or fearlessly saved his grandma from, or tried to save his grandma from falling. So he was being fearless. We talked about who was disciplined last night and practiced their waggle. I do know I have a couple students who can't get on. We are still trying to fix that. So discipline is showing self-control. And then we talked about what we ate for supper last night voraciously or not voraciously. And voracious just means in a really eager way. Then let's see if I click on Wednesday. We reviewed in our textbooks what we did yesterday. In your unit, your next module is called Here's the Story. And we reviewed the essential question to remind ourselves that through the next 3 weeks, we are constantly asking what makes a story worth reading. We're trying to figure that out. What do good authors do to help their readers want to read their work? And like I said, we reviewed those. We talked about the knowledge map for just a minute. Remember, we're looking for what makes stories great. And we talked a little bit about the fact that you've already written some great stories yourselves, and you included a character or several, and had a setting, and had a plot. So you had a beginning and a middle and an end. So all great stories have to have these three things. And then today we read through this short nonfiction. It's called How to Succeed as a Story Writer. What does it take to write books people want to read? And we talked about the nonfiction text features on this page. We have the title and the subtitle. We have headings like read, 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 be ready for rejection. We have pictures of 3 authors and the captions, J.K. Rowling, Ray Bradbury, and Sandra Cisneros. We have highlighted text, and of course if it's on the computer we can even click it to get the definitions, but these are the important words that we're working on learning. And we even have numbers to help us kind of guide us as readers, and we know that we have 5 big ideas we're going to get out of this page. We're going to have 5 things that it takes to be a good story writer. And then we can also see there is some penmanship on the back, and there are pens all over the place to help drive home the point here is to work on being a better writer. So I read it to the class, so I will read it out loud to you. First of all, number 1, J.K. Rowling says, read, read, read. The world's best writers are usually voracious readers themselves. J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, is a big fan of classic English author Jane Austen. Rowling has read Austen's many books countless times. Number 2, stay focused. Good writing starts with good habits. Carry a notebook with you to write down story ideas as they occur to you. Block out a half hour every day to focus on your writing. We talked about this in class, like how many people would want to just block out a half hour that it's not an assigned writing task, but you just want to write, you want to work on your story. And we found that not very many people want to do that. And I said, you know, when you finish school someday and nobody's making you write, you might find that you do like having a little bit of time set aside in your day to either write a journal or just work on writing. Maybe you want to write children's books. Maybe you want to write a vampire novel. Just like playing a sport or a musical instrument, discipline and lots of practice will improve your skills. Number 3, keep writing. Writer's block, often caused by stress or anxiety, is a real phenomenon that affects even some of the best writers. To overcome this obstacle, it's important to relax and just allow your ideas to flow. Going for walks, listening to music, or just changing your environment can help. We also talked about when we were writing our personal narratives, we sometimes got to a point where we were ready for a break and we couldn't think of anything else to write, and so we just had to get up and go eat like another lunch or the third lunch or fourth lunch or whatever. Just go take a break. Number 4, be ready for rejection. Madeleine L'Engle's A Wrinkle in Time was rejected 26 times before it was ever published. Ray Bradbury was one of the most acclaimed science fiction writers of all time, but he said he fielded thousands of rejections. These authors and many others persevere and become hugely successful. So don't be afraid of somebody telling you that your writing is not good enough, is basically what that one's trying to tell you. And number 5, be brave and be yourself. The most beloved authors have an intrepid voice. They're fearless. They're adventurous. That belongs only to them. Sandra Cisneros' bestseller, The House on Mango Street, has sold over 6 million copies. Cisneros says that she found the style that makes her writing unique by trying to write like herself instead of like her classmates or teachers. The world needs more brave voices telling original stories. Maybe someday we will read yours. And so these are some things that people do to help them write better stories. Next thing that we did today, we put our books away and then we moved on to a lesson about vowel plus R words. So what I want to do here, click this big, maybe, nope, wrong one, this one, there we go. And I'm just going to show you what we worked off of today. Oops, dragging out Mrs. Herrick's cord there. Alright, so we have 5 sounds that are R-controlled vowel sounds. The first sound is R, and it is spelled A-R. Okay, the second sound is air. So these look the same. These are the little sound bars to tell you that all of this information is supposed to be a sound you hear. And the 2 little dots above the A are telling you that it's saying ah, and this little hat is saying A, and this hat is making it say O, this hat is making it say and this one's saying E, ear. So that's what those sounds are trying, that's what these little things are trying to get you to think in your mind. But the actual way that they are spelled are right here. So the first sound is R. The second sound is air, spelled A-R-E or A-I-R. If you can see it. There. I think that helps. The second sound is or. You can spell it O-R, O-R-E, O-O-R, O-U-R. The fourth sound is and even though it's spelled a U-E or U-R here, that sound can be spelled with a U-R, an I-R, an E-R, an E-A-R, or O-R can even say And the last sound is ear. This sound is saying ear. It can be spelled E-A-R, I-E-R, and E-E-R. And so then we just came up with some words that had those kinds of spellings in them. So for R, we had harp, radar, bar, sharp. In each word, you see the A-R, A-R, A-R. For air, I had chair, share, spelled A-R-E, A-I-R. So we have to have one of these spellings for each word. Hair, dare, dairy, care, glare, each have an A-R-E or an A-I-R somewhere in them. Or has words like inform, there's our O-R, store, O-R-E, floor, O-O-R, source, O-U-R, and they came up with door, course, and dorm. So once again, when you hear or in a word, you're paying attention to how is it spelled, O-R, O-R-E, O-O-R, and this is important for your assignment that's coming up in a minute. We had turkey, spelled U-R, we had bird, spelled I-R, we had term, spelled E-R, earn, E-A-R to spell and worm, O-R to spell and then we came up with learn. And then the last column is the ear column. We had year, ear is spelled E-A-R, peer, ear is spelled I-E-R, career, ear is spelled E-E-R, and we came up with sheer, beard, queer, steer, eerie as other words that are like that. And let me see if I can figure out how to click out of my giant face on here. There we go. So your assignment, if you go to Google Classroom, get me out of the way, is located here. And when you open it, your instructions, look, it's not really 100 points, sorry. It was a struggle to get it on here. Open it with Cami, please. And there are a couple different ways you can do this assignment. The directions tell you that you need to read each of the 8 sentences, and you're looking for a word or words that have a vowel plus R, and underline the letters that stand for the R controlled sound. So you're underlining AR or ARE or ER or IER. So one of those ways to spell the sound, you're underlining the correct letters. You do not have to underline it. You can make a text box off to the side. For instance, number 1 says, what projects are you doing in art class? Oops, there's an R. Is there a vowel in front of it? Nope, so that one doesn't work. R. There's an R. R. I hear the R. It's spelled A-R. Even though R is spelled A-R-E, the sound is just spelled A-R. So that's one of them, because I know there's another one. You doing an art class? I hear the A-R, R sound spelled A-R again. So that's one way you can answer it. The other way you can answer it is to click markup, and you have a highlighter, and you can just highlight the letters. You need to be careful only to highlight the letters you need to answer the question. If you need to erase something, click the eraser and try clicking that. I think it erases things easier. No, it's not. Darn it, maybe it's this. Yeah, anyway, try whichever one works better for you there. And I think I am almost done. Make sure you notice in reindeer that we have an R, and there's the drawing. So the other thing you could do is underline. In reindeer, you have an R at the beginning. Is there a vowel in front of the R? No. So this R doesn't matter. We don't worry about that one. But I hear reindeer, ear. So I would underline E-E-R. Oops, that's not very easy to do. I don't suggest underlining because you don't want to accidentally underline extra letters. And that is your assignment. Please turn it in today when you get it done. Thanks. Have a good night.